Students, last time we have started with the comparators, and I have told you that the comparators, as the name indicates, it compares uh, the reading or the dimension to be checked with the standard dimension, and it gives you the variation between the standard dimension or the basic dimension and the measured dimension. So this we have started last time, and we have seen there are four types of comparators in our syllabus: mechanical comparator, pneumatic comparator, optical comparator, and electrical comparator. So today we will see the comparators. The first one is mechanical comparator, and this mechanical comparator is again of four types that we have seen last time: dial indicator, Johnson's microcrater, sigma comparator, and mechanical optical. This is a combination of two, mechanical and optical. So first in this is dial indicator. So in this dial indicator, you can see there is a plunger. Plunger means the probe, which comes in contact with the workpiece, and because of the irregularities in the workpiece or the dimensional difference between the workpiece, this plunger can move up and down. So when it moves up and down, that moment of that plunger is converted into the moment of this dial indicator, or we can say this indicator, which moves along this dial, and it is very sensitive. So if the difference is 0.01 or 0.01, this will move by this whole dial 0.01 if it is the difference. So it is so much of magnification is there through this gear train and various arrangements. The magnification means the value, very small difference in the dimension can be converted into moment of this spindle and this moment of the indicator on the dial, and we can easily get the variation. So here we can get 200 times, up to 200 times the magnification of the variation in the dimensions. So this is dial indicator, and here the gear train is used for magnification. So basic size means some dimension is above basic size or below basic size. So maybe the reading is in microns, but it will be shown by this dial indicator, where because it magnifies that reading up to 200 times. So if it is 0.002, then it will be indicated by 0.2. So you can just see the reading very easily. So it works on the principle of converting linear moment into the angular. So linear moment means up and down moment of this plunger is converted into angular moment of this indicator, and through the gear train it magnifies. Scale pointer on indicating the readings, or it acts as indicating device. So here we can see the various uses of this dial indicator. You can see the straightness we can measure the roundness, or we can measure the roundness in the workpiece held in two centers. So all this we can magnify, or we can, with the help of dial indicator, we can magnify the small minute variation in the dimension, and we can get. So first it is set to the 0 to the basic size, or that standard workpiece. It is set to the 0, and the other workpieces are checked, and we can see the variation between that other workpieces to be checked and the standard workpiece very easily with the dial indicator. So these are the applications we can see of the dial indicator. We can measure the roundness, we can measure the roundness between two centers, we can measure the straightness. So ultimately it is the linear moment of the probe or that plunger into angular moment of the indicator over a dial. Then there is second type. At the place of that plunger we can have a lever, which we can measure with the help of uh, that lever, we can see the variation in the dimension. Ultimately the principle is same. The linear moment of that, or angular, this moment of this particular lever can be converted into this indicator or pointer on the indicator. So these are what the dial indicators, which we can see to be used for getting the various variation in the readings from the basic size. Then next is the Johnson's microcrater. Here at the place of gear train, the twisted strip, or a we can say which is can be twisted, and that potential energy of that strip can be used for the moment of the pointer. So as this plunger moves up and down, this pointer can move in either direction. So we can have the moment of this pointer because of the twisted strip. So this arrangement can be used for seeing the variation. We can adjust that to the 0 at the basic size or basic dimension first, and then we can check the various workpieces by the deflection in the pointer, whether it is within the limit or outside the limit, whether it is accepted or to be rejected. And this particular microcrater is founded by the GCF Johansson, so that's why it is known as Johansson's microcrater. So do not require any external source of energy. So all these dial indicator or microcrater or sigma comparator, all these three are mechanical comparators, and they do not require any external source of energy. They are cheaper, portable, construction is robust, and design is compact. Simple linear scale, so that pointer moves along a dial, and where we can see the variation in the readings. So it is unaffected by variations due to external source. The range is limited here because this scale is limited. This scale is the fixed, and the pointer moves over that fixed scale. So that's why the range is limited here. Pointer scale system used can cause the parallax error. So while getting that reading, we may make a mistake. That pointer scale, whether that is maybe by a very minute readings, we cannot get the perfect reading because of the parallax error. So there are a number of moving parts. There is a gear train or a lever or a sector or whatever it may be, any mechanical mechanism, or we can say linking of the parts or linkages of the parts for the magnification of the reading. So all these parts are connected together and they move with one respect to other, and that may create the friction. So that is the main disadvantage of this, that because of that the accuracy may be less, and it may become sensitive to vibration due to high inertia. This is sigma comparator. This is the same principle, where we can say the linear moment of the plunger is converted into angular moment of the pointer on the scale, and there is this mechanism used where is the fixed block is there, moving block is there, and this plunger, if it moves up and down, this will slightly through this drum and all this arrangement mechanism, this pointer will move on the dial. So it is to be set to 0 to the basic size, and then see the variation in the reading with the help of the up and down movement of the plunger. So this is sigma comparator. Then next is mechanical optical comparator. It is a combination of mechanical and optical. So it requires light source, or it requires the electrical energy to get the light source. Here we can see the magnification is tremendous. We can magnify with the help of this type of comparator to 1000 times or 2000 times that of the reading. So the variation can be very minutely, or we can say very correctly measured here. So here we can see there is a plunger, there is a pivot, this lever is there, then this lever is connected to a mirror, inclined mirror. It is again pivoted here. This mirror, this variation in the plunger, this plunger will come in contact with the workpiece, will move up and down. This is connected to this mirror through this lever, and this will move. This can change the angle of this mirror. As the angle of mirror changes, the angle of deflection of this rays will change and will give you the reading on the scale pointer. So this is, we can say, through the optical arrangement, these rays are projected on this mirror, and moment of this mirror depends on the variation in the workpiece through this plunger. So we can have the change in angle of this rays of deflection because of the angle change of mirror, because of the variation in the workpiece through this plunger, we can get the reading. So first we'll set this plunger and this reading to the 0 with the basic size, and then the workpiece which are to be tested or checked will brought in contact with this plunger, and we can see the variation in the dimensions very easily. So here the magnification is very high. So since we are using this optical mode, the magnification of the reading can be 1000 times or can be up to 2000 times, that's it. So it is weightless. As we can see, the number of moving parts are very less. There is no as such a mechanical or mechanism used as we have seen in mechanical type of comparator such as dial indicator. We can see the magnification is totally done with the help of number of moving parts, maybe a gear train. So here the moving parts are very less. So due to that, the friction is less, wear and tear is less. Higher range, even at higher magnification, is possible. Magnification can be very high as the scale moves past the index. Used to magnify parts of very small size and of complex configuration with the intricate grooves, radii and steps. So complex workpieces can be checked very easily with this. The accuracy of measurement is limited to 0.001 mm. So it can be magnified very easily, very small dimensions. Electrical supply is required, and the eyepiece type, or we can say the optical arrangement is required, the mirrors is required, the lenses are required to focusing the rays and all this. So these are some disadvantages. Then there is a pure optical comparator, that is G's Ultra optimeter it is known as. So here the magnification is very high. In optical comparator, small variation, very small variation in the plunger movement is magnified. So it may not be visible or sensible with the human eyes or human senses, but that can be magnified to any extent with the help of mechanical. So any variation to the say 0.0001 mm or micron, up to that also can be tested very easily. So because they are magnified and they can be seen with the help of movement of the indicator on the dial. So in optical comparator, small variation in the plunger movement is magnified first by mechanical system and then by optical system. This principle is applicable to most of the optical instruments. When reflector itself is tilted a small angle alpha, the reflector rays from reflector will be tilted by 2 alpha is the principle of optical lever. So here we can see the magnification is very high. As we can see here, through this optical arrangement from the light source, the lenses, the rays are impinged on this movable mirror. This mirror is movable. So this is connected to a plunger which comes in contact with the workpiece. So as there is variation in the dimension, this plunger will move up and down and will tilt this mirror by some angle, right? So it is falling on this mirror, then it is going to the fixed mirror, then again from it is getting reflected on the movable mirror, and then it is going on the dial. So we can see through this scale, through this eyepiece, we can see the variation in the dimensions very easily. So magnification is very high, very small minute variation can be easily recorded with the help of this optical comparator, GIS Ultra comparator. Advantages are weightless, less number of moving parts, as we can see, no mechanism, hardly that mirror is there which is a movable mirror, that is the only thing which is moving, and the probe or the plunger, the less number of moving parts, so friction will be less, wear and tear will be less. Then magnify parts of very small size and a complex configuration, so that are the advantages of this. Then electrical supply is required, then projection type instrument occupy large space, so it requires a separate lab or a dark room where we can say every workpiece cannot be tested or checked. We'll have to only check or test the samples. So they are expensive and requires high skill, and hence these are the limitations of this optical comparators. Then next is electrical comparator. So it works on mutual induction principle. We can say it works on the Wheatstone bridge. We have seen there are 4 resistors, and this bridge is balanced at 0 reading, means basic size. This resistance Ra by Rx upon R1 by R2, this ratio will be equal when it is basic size. This one of the resistance in this from this 4 is connected to the plunger, which will be in contact with the workpiece. So that will vary the resistance because of the moment of that plunger. The resistance in one member of this will get varied, and it varies the ratio, and it will give you the reading. So this ratio is balanced, or this ratio is adjusted to the basic size or the standard size, and one of the resistance is connected to the probe or that plunger, and that will vary the resistance because of the moment of that, because of the variation in the workpiece, and will vary this ratio also. So from where we can get the reading. So here there is the arrangement. The plunger is there, which is connected through all this means to the Wheatstone bridge, and this will vary. This is connected to the one of the resistance of that bridge, and this moment of this plunger, up and down moment, will vary the resistance in that member and will vary the balance between that bridge, and it gives you the reading. So this is what is electrical comparator, where we can see the magnification can be to any limit. We can say 2000 times we can magnify the readings. So measuring units can be remote from indicating units, means it can be at one place. Indicating unit can be at some control panel, or can be at some control room. So it variable sensitivity is there, no moving parts are there, magnification is very high, and sizes are compact. Then it affects due to temperature and humidity is the disadvantage of this. Then not a self-contained unit, it requires the stabilized power supply. So power supply is required, electrical power supply, and it is more expensive. So these are the disadvantages of electrical comparator. The reading or the variation here we can get with the imbalance of this ratio. So that is the we can say electrical comparator. And the last here is pneumatic comparator, which works on the principle of pressure difference generated by the airflow. So air is supplied at constant pressure through the orifice or through a small opening. The air escapes in the form of jet through the restricted space, which exerts the back pressure, and variation in the back pressure is then used for the getting the variation in the workpieces. So how it happens, that we'll see. So here the compressed air is supplied through this filter. In this filter, the any impurities or moisture is removed. Then there is one-way valve, that is pressure regulator, and then it is supplied to the scale. And there is a float here which is floating in the scale freely. This float is there. Then this is connected to the gauging head. The air supply, the pipeline, the plastic tube is connected to this gauging head, which is inserted in the internal, or we can say the cylinder bore, which is to be checked. Now this float, which you can say, if the air is not passing, means if the air is not passing through this gauging head, if this gauging head is, this gap between this gauging head and the cylinder bore is very small, this float will be at the highest position, right? And if this gap is bigger, the air will freely escape through this opening and this float will be at lower position. So variation in the height of this float will give you the reading or the variation. So internal diameter of a cylinder or the bore can be checked very easily with the help of this gauging head. As it is inserted in this, the air escaped through the cavity or the gap between the walls of the gauging head and the cylinder head, that cylinder bore. So if it is escaping very easily, this float will be at lower position. If it is restricted or the gap is very small, then we can see this float will be at higher position, highest position. So first this float is adjusted to 0 with the basic size, means a basic size or the standard workpiece is tested for, and this float is adjusted to 0. Then with the continuous air supply at the same pressure, the other workpieces are tested, and we can see the moment of the float, variation in the moment of the float, that whether that air escape, quantity of air escape is increasing or decreasing. That will give you the idea of the dimensions measured of this internal dimension measured of these cylinders or various workpieces. So this is what is the overall principle of working of pneumatic comparator. So we can easily test the workpieces because of the flow of air. So if it is restricted, then we can say it is undersized. If it is freely flowing out of that, it can be oversized, or when it is say to the 0, it can be of basic size. So depending on the moment of this float, because of the air pressure escaping through this, we can check whether the holes are undersized, oversized, or to be basic size, or within the tolerance limit or not. So this is what is pneumatic comparator. So here there is separate arrangement where we can see the manometer tube is there, pressure can be measured. So the principle is same, the amount of air escaping through this, the pressure is varying. So at the place of this float and scale, there is a manometer used, and where we can see the level of water is increasing or decreasing because of increase and decreasing the pressure by checking the internal diameter of the workpieces. So this is Solex pneumatic comparator. The advantages are cheaper, simple, and operate at the cost is low, free from mechanical hysteresis and wear. So there is no movement of mechanical parts or mechanisms. So that's why there won't be any wear and friction. Magnifications can be as high as 10,000 times. So we can magnify the amount of variation to 10,000 times and we can get the readings. Tapers and ovality can be easily detected. So any small variation in the dimension can be easily detected. The method is self-cleaning as the air is flowing through the jets. Disadvantage is very sensitive to temperature and humidity changes, because the air which is sucked inside through the filter may not be, that filter may not be able to remove all the humidity and impurities from the air, may again disturb the working of the pneumatic comparator. The accuracy may be influenced by the surface roughness of the component. Different gauging heads are needed for different jobs. So this gauging head, the dimension of gauging head will depend on the internal diameter of the workpiece. So if this changes, we'll have to change the gauging head. So that is the costly affair here. The gauging heads are to be used separately for different jobs. Then auxiliary equipment such as filters, pressure gauges, regulators are used. Then this is the last thing, that is differential pressure pneumatic comparator. Here there are two sides, we can say. The control valve is there. Through this air pressure is going to the gauging head. Through this it is adjusted. So this dial indicator here, the indicating device, is adjusted to 0 first. Air is supplied from both these pipelines, and to the basic size, means the standard size, this gauging head is inserted in the standard size workpiece. The airflow from both these ends is adjusted to 0 with the help of this arrangement, and any difference in between airflow from this side, means any difference, any variation between the workpiece and the standard workpiece, can be easily indicated by this dial indicator. So first it is adjusted to 0 with the help of the basic workpiece or the standard workpiece, and then the workpiece to be checked is inserted, or that gauging head is inserted into the workpiece to be checked, and we can see the variation in the dial indicator. So this is operating on the difference between the pressures. That's why it is known as differential pressure pneumatic comparator. So here we can see the various applications of this pneumatic comparator. So we can say it can be the outside diameter, or it can be height. So as the whatever we want to check, squareness or straightness, we will have to change the gauging heads. So all the time the gauging heads are to be changed. So whatever workpiece is to be, or whatever dimension of the workpiece is to be tested, that gauging head will be as per that dimension. So gauging heads, various gauging heads are shown here. So these are the applications of pneumatic comparators. So these are the comparators used to check the variation between the standard workpiece and the workpiece to be checked. So there are 4 types: mechanical type, pneumatic type, electrical type, and optical type. Optical type is again in combination with mechanical type, and in mechanical type there is a limitation that magnification can be only up to 200 times. But all these pneumatic comparator, electrical comparator, or optical comparator, we can magnify the readings, or we can magnify the variations to the thousands of times, and we can get the very small or minute variation in the workpiece we can easily check or detected. So these are the comparators used to check the linear dimensions of the workpieces. Next time we will see the angular measurements.